So hello everyone, welcome back to Kepler. I am Satvik. Today we are going to solve another CodeChef contest. Today's contest is Starters 225. Okay, so the first question is payment scheme. So yeah, payment scheme. Chef picked out several items in a shop and now he has to pay for them. The shop offer two type of payment schemes. Okay, so pay 100 coins immediately and then pay X coins every week for next 4 weeks and pay 300 coins immediately with no future payments required. Okay, so find the minimum possible number of coins chef need to pay. Okay, so in this problem, so there are two types of payment schemes that are provided. First one, provide X rupees, I think, no, sorry. Provide 100 instantly and then provide X rupees for 4 weeks. So in total we have we are paying 4X plus 100. X will be provided. And second is, I think, provide 300 directly immediately. Okay. So providing 300 immediately. Sorry. So the question wants us to tell whether this one is small or this one is small. I mean, which one is optimal payment method? Okay, so it's pretty simple. I mean, I will just calculate this for x plus 100 and compare it with 300 and print my results. Okay, so I think the input format. Okay, so there are no test cases given. I can directly take x as input. X now. I need to print the minimum of 2. Okay, so and let's say payment scheme PS1, right? So the first payment scheme is 100 plus 4 times x, and payment scheme 2 is, I think, 300. Okay, so I just need to print the minimum one, right? Minimum possible number of coins. Okay, so let's print minimum of PS1 and PS2. Okay, so let's check. So yeah, for a given x, when x is 8, so x is 8, the PS1 value will be 100 plus 8 times 4, that is 32. So 132, and compare it with 300, 132 is smaller, so 132 is printed. Okay, so let's just submit it. It's a pretty simple one. So yeah, now quickly moving towards the second question. It's it's all even. Okay, so there are n numbers written on a blackboard. There are n values denoted. Okay, so there are so essentially they have provided us with an array of numbers. Now you can modify the blackboard using the following 3 steps. Produce. Okay, as long as n is greater than equals to 2, first add an to an minus 1, then erase an from the blackboard, finally reduce n by 1. Okay, so that means in this question, in the second question, they provided us with an array. It contains some integers. Now there are some steps to modify this array, and up till the length of the array is greater than equals to 2, I can perform some modifications where I will, for example, the second last and the last, I can pick both of them. Then I will just add an to an minus 1. Okay, so I will perform an minus 1 equals to an. Then I will just remove an, right? Yeah, finally reduce n by 1. Okay, so in the end, in a simpler words, you can add the last value to the second last value. Yeah, if you like even numbers, so you would like to know if it is possible to repeatedly perform this 3-step procedure several times so that eventually there are only even numbers. Okay, so that means from the given array I can perform this operation. That is adding the last 2 values and removing the last value. By performing this operation multiple times, I just need to check whether finally the elements in the array are all even or not. Okay, so I just need to check it is possible or not by performing this operation. Okay, so let's just take an example. Look at the example. 211, perform the given operation once, which adds a3 to a2, then deletes a2. Okay, so what are they doing? So let's just take the example 211. Now if I add these two, then it will be 2 and yeah, it's already, I think, yeah, it's already all the elements are even, so yes, I can convert all of them to even. Okay, let's take another example. 1 2 3. 1 2 3. If I perform this once, then whatever I will do, I will just add 3 to 2. That means it will become 1 5 and 3 is removed. If I perform it again, then what it will become? It will become 1 plus 5, that is 6, and 5 will be removed, 6. So the final element is even. That means by performing all the operations, I can convert the array to have only even numbers. Okay, so how can I possibly do that? Okay, so first of all, don't think or don't try to I mean simulate this. This will take a lot of time and it will become very complex whether you can achieve it or not. So one thing you can notice is that I can perform the operation as many times as I want, right? That, I mean, for example, 211, right? 211, if I perform it once, then the resulting array will be 2 comma 2, right? if I perform it again, is there any harm? No, because the answer will be 4. Because if I add even numbers, then the result will always be even and I will just keep adding. So the main crux is that I will add all the numbers and till I can't perform anymore, there is only one element remains, I will add all the numbers, and if the remaining answer is even, then it's possible, otherwise it will never be possible. For example, if I let's say 1312, okay, 1312, let's take this example, 1312, okay. So first I will add these two, 133. No, all the elements are not even. I will again perform 163. I will just add 16. No, all the elements are not even. I will again perform. It will be 7. So the final resulting element is odd. So the answer will always be no. Okay, now 22141. Okay, 22141. Let's take this example. Final example. 141. Okay. If I add these two, answer will be 2215. Then if I add these two, answer will be 226. Now at this point you can tell, yeah, it's possible. I can convert the array to all even elements. But if I even perform it further, then will there be any problem? No, because adding even element will always cause our result to be even. So that's the main point. If I add all the elements and our answer is even, that means, yeah, it's possible. At some point I can convert all the elements to even, but if the answer is odd, that means it's no way possible to convert all the elements to even by performing these operations. Okay, so that's it. uh, in this case I think we need to take some test cases. Yeah, so I will take the test cases here, then I will look through it. Okay, so I think first the length of the array is given. Okay, I will take the array as input. Sorry, yeah. Now what I need to do, just I will just take the sum of all the elements. Just I need to define, is there any chances that I will cross the integer length? No. Okay, so no requirement of taking long. Just int will do fine. Integer sum is 0. I will just sum everything of nums, add everything, sum plus equals to 8. Now if, sorry, now if my sum is actually even, then yeah, it's possible, else it's never possible. Okay, so I think, yeah, I need to print no. So yeah, I think it should be working. Let's check. Is there any issue? Why there are so many yes no? Okay, I need to return. Sorry. Yes is no yes. Okay, so let's just submit it. Yeah, it's working. So now moving towards the third question, that is maximum score. Maximum score. Okay, so chef is participating in a tournament. He must face n opponents. Okay, if he wins against ith opponent, he will receive AI coins, whereas if he loses, he will receive BI coins. Okay, it's guaranteed that AI will always be greater than BI. Chef does not want to bring too much attention to himself, so he decides that he will lose at least once. Under this constraint, what is the maximum total coins he can receive? Okay, so essentially in this problem, in the third problem, you will be provided with two arrays, A and B. Okay, so all the elements in A represent points, all the elements in B represent some points. So there are n points in total. A will have n entries and B also have n entries. Now every time chef beats opponent, okay, so it's also given that every element of I, basically A of A is greater than equals to B. That means every element of I, A will always be greater than B. Okay, so now every time chef wins or defeats opponent I, he will receive AI points, else he will receive BI points. Okay, if he beats, then AI, else he receives BI. Now chef will win every I think, yeah, chef does not win 200, he decide to win at least once. Okay, so he will lose once At least once he will lose. That means at least once he will receive the point bi, and rest of the time he will win. That means he will going to receive ai. Okay. So as there is it is already mentioned that he will lose at least once. So and I need to maximize the amount of point the chef has accumulated. So in the best case scenario, I will only make him lose once. That means only once I will take bi, because it's already stated that always a of I will be greater than equals to b of I. That means taking a of I is much better, because I will gain more points. Okay. So the now main question is, at which I will be losing. I mean, which will be the optimal value of I to lose, right? For example, 538 334. Okay. So 538 334. Okay, so Chef will obviously win this one. I think this will win. He will take, sorry, he will take, this is A and this is B first of all. So he will win in the, after I equals 0, or the 0th round he will win. He will take 5. In the, sorry, let it be I equals to 1, 1 base indexing. In the second round he is going to lose, that means he will receive 3. And in the third round he is again going to win, that means he will receive 8. So the final answer will be 8 plus 5 plus 3, that is I think 16. Let's check. So yeah, the answer is 16. So how should you determine uh, on which instance you are going to lose? So first of all, after losing once, you are going to win all the others. So that means you are taking the maximum value every time. But when should you take the minimum? You should understand that you are going to take the minimum where the difference is between the minimum and maximum is very less. It's not like you are going to take all the maximums and choose the minimum from B, right? It won't work. For example, if you take the last case 9876, no, sorry, it's okay. So take this example 63875151, right? 63875151. Okay. So if you start taking the maximum from A, and where A is minimum, you're taking B, then it won't work. For example, if you take 8, 7 and 6 and 1 from, sorry, okay, let's change the color a bit. If I'm going to take 8 from A, 7 from A, 6 from A and 1 from B, what is the sum? 8 plus 7 plus 6 plus 1, that is 15 plus 16, 22, right? If you are, I mean, if you thought like that, you are going to take the maximums from A, and where A is the smallest, I am going to take B. So in that case, the answer will be 22, but there is a much more optimal way. Okay. So if you are going to take 8, then 7, then if I take 3 and 5, what is the result? 10, 18 and 23. Yeah. So if I take in this fashion, then the point we are going to accumulate is more, right? So the main thing you are going to notice is that I will try to take B where the difference between A and B is maximum. Sorry, the difference between A and B is minimum. In that case, I am going to take B. So B has the minimum impact on our score. You're getting my point, right? I will perform AI minus BI for all I. This will tell me where AI and BI are very close. The point where AI and BI is the closest, that's where I'm going to take BI, because in this way BI will impact least. So yeah, so what I'm going to do, I will just keep a temp or something. In temp, I'm going to store AI and BI, AI minus BI. It will be always positive because AI is greater than BI. And the index now, and after that I'm going to sort, or I'm just keep a track of the minimum one and the index. Now the index where AI minus BI is the smallest, that is the index where I'm going to take the value of B, or that is the index where the chef is going to lose, because it will impact least on our score, right? So let's just quickly move towards the question. Let me just copy this real quick. Okay, so yeah, this is the point where I've taken input all the test cases. I think n will be there. Now I require 2 vectors of length n. Okay, let's just take the input. Yeah. Now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to keep a track where AI minus BI is the minimum. I will just have an index. Initially the value will be -1. Oh, let it be 0. Now I will just loop through it. No. Let me also have the value using which I will track the initial value. Let the value be a of 0 minus b of 0. Okay, so I require the minimum one. So if a of I minus b of I is actually less than my val, then what I'm going to do, I will just store the index. So index will be I and my val will be a of I minus b of I. Okay, in this fashion it will just move forward, calculating ai minus bi, then storing the minimum value and the index. Okay, so I got my index. Where I'm going to lose, or just I will just collect the uh, uh, I think b array value. Okay, so let's just declare my answer. Initial, what I will do, I will just plus equals to b of index, answer initialize answer by b of index. Okay, because the index is the point where I'm going to lose, and after that I will just look through it through, and for all the rest of the indexes I'm going to take the value of a, because that's optimal, because a is always greater than equals to b. So I will look through it, and I just need to do one thing, that is if my I all is equals to index, that I will just continue, because for idx or for the value index I have taken b, so I won't consider a anymore. Okay, so continue, else just answer should be plus equals to ai. Okay, see out answer. Let's check it's working on the current inputs or not. Okay, so there are some errors. Let's just quickly define it. Okay, yeah, it's working. Now let's submit it. Sure. Now moving towards the fourth and the last question. It's plus minus split. Okay, so you are given an array a of length n. The array can be modified by performing the following operations on it. Okay, choose an index I, or it should be less than equals to n. Then for each index j less than I, we will just add ai to aj. Yeah, and for every index j greater than equals to I, subtract ai instead. Okay, note that every element a must be modified. You cannot leave any element unchanged. For example, 2413, if I choose I equals to 2, that means -1. I will for I less than equals to, no sorry, I think it's taking 4. Yeah, it's one base indexing. So for all I less than 2, I will just add 4, and for all I greater than equals to 2, I will I think -4 from all of them. I will subtract 4 from all of them. You would like to make all the elements a equal by performing the given operation. Possibly, okay, so you make all the elements of a equal by performing the given operation. Okay, is it possible to achieve this goal? Right. Okay, so I'm going to make all the elements equal, right? Possibly. Okay, so the question is essentially tells us that, wait 1 second. Yeah, so the question essentially tells us that in the fourth question, they will provide us with an array which will contain some numbers. Now I can perform this operation, that is I can choose I such that I will be from 1 to n, and then I can perform this, that for every j less than I will just do this, that is I will add a of I to a of j, that is a of I, j should be plus equals to a of I, and for all the j greater than equals to I will perform this, a of j minus equals to a of I. That means I will just subtract a of I from all the j greater than equals to I. Okay, a of j, sorry. Now the question is, can I make all the elements inside the array equal? Okay, by performing this operation, can I make all the array, all the elements inside the array equal? Okay, so let's just first take an example of these operations. It will be quite helpful. 2 4 minus 1 3. Let's just understand this example. Sorry, 2 4 minus 1 3. Okay, so if I take I equals to 2, I'm using on one base indexing. If I take I equals to 2, then according to the operation, what I'm going to do, for all the I less than 2, that means, let's change the color, that means for I equals to 1, I am going to add 4 to 1 to the index 1. Okay, so the array will become 6, and for all the indexes greater than equals to 2, I'm going to subtract 4. That means the value will be, for 4 it will be 0, it will be -1 -4, that means -5, and here it is 3 minus 4, that is -1. Okay, so like this I will perform the operations. Okay, Now the main question is like if I can make all the elements in the array equal. Now let's take a real example, that is 2, okay, 1 minus 1. Okay, so the array is 1 minus 1. Now if I choose minus 1, if that means I'm choosing index 2, then what I'm going to do, I will just add minus 1 to 1, that because index 1 is less than 2, that's why I'm going to add, so it will be 0, and I am going to subtract minus 1 from minus 1, that means it also will be 0. Now, so after performing one operation, the array becomes 0 0, so yeah, all the elements become equal, so I can convert all the elements to equal by performing this operation, so answer will be yes. Now coming to 1 minus 3 2, okay, 1 minus 3 2. So in this example we will observe a very important thing, that is, what element should I start with? Let's start with 1. What will happen? 1, there is no element to the left of the first element, so I will just perform the second operation. That means for all the j greater than equals to the current index, I will subtract a of I. So I1 will become 0, 1 minus 1, 3 minus 3 minus 1 minus 4, 2 minus 1 1. Okay. Now if I again perform, if you choose any other index, it will be 0, but this will change. So the main observation you need to have, so the main crux you need to observe is that anytime I choose anytime I choose a I, this a of I element will always be 0, right? Anytime I choose a I, the a of I element will always be 0, because for all j greater than equals to I am subtracting. That means I am performing a of j minus a of I. So as it is greater than equals to I, so I will essentially perform a of I minus a of I. That means a of I, the value will be 0. So if I am trying to make all the elements equal, then I must need to make them all 0. Otherwise, it won't be equal, right? For example, here only, I choose the first element, it becomes 0. The rest 2 does not become 0. If I choose any other element, for example, let's just choose from this array 0 minus 4 1. If I choose any other element, let's say 4, what I'm going to do, I'm going to add minus 4 to left. That means it will be minus 4. Now I'm going to subtract, minus 4 becomes 0, and 1 minus of minus 4, that means 5. Again, this becomes 0. So I need to make all the elements 0 at the same time, right? If one becomes 0 and other does not, then it's no way possible that all the elements become equal and 0, right? So all the elements need to become 0 at the same time. For that to happen, what are the conditions? How can all the element become 0 at the same time? You can observe from the given sample. Yeah, is the biggest clue. 1 minus 1. What I'm going to do, 1 minus 1. I'm going to select minus 1. Minus 1, if I add minus 1 towards the left, it will be 0. And if I remove minus 1 from all the elements, it will be 0. Right. Now let's just start from simple things. If all the elements are equal, that is x, if all the elements are x, right, what I will do, I will just choose the first x and then I will subtract everything, right? That means I will choose the first x and towards the right I will just subtract, so the answer will be 0. After performing the first operation, all of them will be 0. So yeah, I can convert this array. Oh, sorry. I will change all the elements to equal by performing these operations. Now, if all the elements are minus, or let's x have a negative value, for example, yeah, x can be positive. I am considering positive in this case. If x have some negative value, for example, minus 5, minus 5, minus 5, minus 5, okay, what I'm again going to do, I will just select the first element. So it doesn't matter if all the elements are equal, then I can just perform one operation using the first element. Then after that operation, all the elements will be 0 and equal. Okay, so now coming to the second case, which is this one, 1 minus 1. There is a case if there are elements present like this, x x x minus x minus x minus x, then what will happen? X x x minus x minus x minus x. In this case, in cases like this, if I choose this x as my first element, that means if I choose this as I, for all the j less than I, what I'm going to do, I'm going to add minus x. If I add minus x to x, the answer will be 0, right? Everything will be 0. And for all the j greater than equals to I, that means considering this element, I will just subtract minus x. That means in this case also, if I subtract minus x from minus x, the answer will be 0. So this is the last case where, yeah, I can convert all the elements to 0 using just one operation, right? So I need to consider this case also. Okay, so the cases, okay, I'm just summarizing everything. First of all, the main thing you need to understand in this problem is that I need to convert all the elements to 0, and also convert all the elements to 0 in single operation, because if one is 0 and rest are not, then I can never achieve all equal elements, because I will then select another element, it will be 0, and the previous 0 will change to another non-zero element. So the cycle will keep going on. So I need to change all the element to 0 in a single go. And in order to do that, all the elements either need to be same or it need to follow this pattern, that is x x x to some point, then minus x minus x minus x, right? And even if in between there is again plus x, then also it's not possible, because right, because if you choose this x, then up till this point it will be 0, but after this it will be 2x. So yeah, all the elements are not going to be 0 at the same time, so you can't do that, right? So yeah, you just need to check that, that is first x then minus x, or all minus x, right? Okay, so let's just write the code quickly. Let's copy this. So yeah, I think yeah, they are giving the input. I think yeah, already the input are taken inside the array. Now what I'm going to do, I will just keep a flag. Okay, I will just keep a flag. Initially it's 0. Now I will move forward. Okay, I will take a variable to check whether the value is x minus x or not. Let it name x. So initially let's initialize the value with 0, thumbs up 0, because all the element need to be same, so it does not matter. I will just initialize x with 0. Okay, so now I loop through the array. Now if nums of I is x, then what I'm going to do, just move forward this. Okay, so let's not just do this. I will just move forward. No, if nums of I not equals to x, okay, if nums of I not equals to x, there can be situation like this, like I am moving. Okay, so first of all, if all the elements are x, then I will just loop through this, and I will just go through this if condition, and the loop will end. Yeah, and I will just check the flag value and tell whether all the elements are x or minus x. Now if my input is like this, first x then minus x, then there will be some point where my initial nums value won't hold, right? That means my x will change. So for the first time where nums of I is not equals to x, how can I keep track that it's the first time? I will use a flag that if nums of I is not equals to x and my flag is actually 0, that means it's the first time my x and nums of I is not matching. So what I am going to do, I am just going to find for minus x. That means x will be minus x, right? Now I am not going to move forward, because I will again check from that point only, and my flag will be 1. Okay, my flag will be 1. Now okay, let's just continue here. Okay, so here also I need to continue. Now the last condition, if nums of I is not equals to x and flag not equals to 0, that means previously already I have a mismatch and I have converted my x to minus x. Now again I am getting a mismatch. So yeah, in that case I can convert the array to all equal elements. Like I can convert all the elements inside the array to equal. Okay, so in that case I will just make the flag 2 and break. Now if by comparing the flag value I can just tell, okay, yeah, I think I am missing a bracket for the for loop. Now I will just compare. If my flag is actually 2, I can directly tell that no, it's not possible, right? See how no and else. Okay, sorry. Yeah, and else in all the condition it will be yes, right? Okay, so I just also need to write return here. Okay, so if I try run this code, for example, if I take something like this, let's take a generic example first, xxx. Okay, you can first take minus x also, minus x minus x, xxx. Is it possible? Yeah, obviously. If I take this as my I, or take, sorry, okay, choose index 1 2 3 3 as my first index, then what I'm going to do, for all the j less than I, I'm going to add x. That means minus x plus x, it will all the elements will be 0, and after that I'm going to subtract x from x, so it will also be 0, so all the elements are equal. So what will my code do? What will my code do? First I'm initializing x. I will initialize x with the 0th element, so my initial value will be minus x only. Now I will just loop through the array. Okay, so first minus x, my value is also minus x, so it matches. I will move forward, right? If nums of I and x matches, then I will move forward. Then I move here. It again matches. I will again move forward. I'm here. Okay, now currently my flag value is 0 because there is no mismatch still. Now here I am getting a mismatch. It's x. So what I'm going to do, the first time I'm getting a mismatch, I will just convert x to minus x. That means currently initially my value is minus x, so after performing minus of minus x I will get x, but I don't move forward. Now the loop again move. Now it matches x with x. My initial now my value is x, so both of them matches. I move forward. Again it matches. I move forward. Again it matches. I move forward. After that I check that my flag value is not 2, it's only 1 because there is only one mismatch. Okay, so yeah, if my flag value is 1, then yeah, it's possible. But here, if again there is a minus x or anything, it can be minus y, x, minus z, anything. Again, for the best case, if again there is minus x, then what will happen? Again there will be a mismatch because my value is x and there is minus x. But in this case, already there is a mismatch. I can just check if my flag is 0 or 1. If it's 1, then previously there was a mismatch. Again there is a mismatch. Then I will just make flag 2 and break. If there are 2 mismatches, that means the flag is 2. So I will just print no, else it will be yes. Okay. So let's just run it first. I think it should be working. So yeah, it's working. Now submit it. So yeah, it's working as well. That's it for today. I will again come up with a new contest. Thank you. Keep coding. Okay. So the last question is plus minus grid. Let's just remove this. In this question, you are given an array of length n. The array can be modified by performing the following operations. So there are some operations that we need to perform. Choose an index I, such as I is less than greater than 1 and less than n. For each index j, after choosing I, for each index j, for all j less than I, add a of I to a of j. Okay. And for j greater than equals to I, subtract a of I from a of j. Okay, instead. All right. So they will provide us with an array containing some numbers. Okay. Let's say the length of the array is n. Now I need to perform some operations or some transformation. First, I need to select an index I. Obviously, it will be I should be greater than equals to 1 and less than equals to n. And after that, I will for all j, sorry, after that for all j such that j is less than I need to add a of j with a of I for all j. Okay. And for all j greater than equals to I need to perform a of j minus a of I. For example, I think they have provided us with the example that is 2, 4, minus 1, 3, and I equals to 2. Okay. Sorry. So 2, 4, minus 1, 3. Now, if I take I equals to 2, that means the second index. Okay. So for all j less than 2, that means in this case, it's only one index that is I equals to 1. I need to perform a of j plus a of I. That means the element will become 6. And all the j greater than equals to I need to perform a of j minus a of I. So I will just subtract 4 from 4, that is 0. Then minus 1 comma 4, that is minus 5. Then 3 comma minus 4, that is minus 1. Yeah. So that after performing one operation choosing I equals to 2, the answer will be 6, 0, minus 5, minus 1. Let's check it quickly. Okay, so 6, 0, minus 5, minus 1. Now, what is the requirement? Okay, so you will make all the elements of A equal by performing the given operation. Okay, so we need to transform all the elements of A equal by performing this operation. Let's just take another example. 1 minus 1 minus 1. Okay, 1 minus 1. So example is 1 minus 1. Now what I'm going to do, I will just select minus 1. Then what I'm going to do, for all the index less than this, I will just add. So 1 plus minus 1, that will be 0. And for all the element greater than equals to this, I will just subtract minus 1. So minus 1 minus of minus 1, that is minus 1 plus minus 1, that is 0. So all the elements become 0, and yeah, all the elements of this array are also equal. So after performing one operation, all the elements become equal. So yeah, I will just print yes, yes, I can transform all the elements to equal by performing these two operations. Okay. Now, how to understand if all the elements will be equal, or if I can convert all the elements to equal by performing this operation? First of all, what I'm doing, if I select for any given array, okay, so there is an element x. If I select x and perform this operation, what will happen to x? First, you need to understand what will happen to x. For all the element towards the left, I will just add x. For the element toward the right, I will again add x. And for x also, I will just subtract. Sorry, for all the elements towards the right, I will just subtract x. And for this index also, I'm going to subtract, because for all j greater than equals to y. So that means I will just subtract x from this also. So x itself becomes 0, right? Now, if I need to convert all the elements to equal, and after performing one operation, the one of the elements becomes 0. So, can you find any pattern? First of all, if one, for example, if one becomes 0 and rest are non-zero, then what will happen? If I again perform some operation, this will become 0 and this again changes to non-zero. For example, let's take, I think it will be good 1, 3, 2. Okay, 1 minus 3, 2. First of all, I think it is one of the examples is given here, right? 1 minus 3, 2. Yeah. So let's just start with 1. Okay. If I start with 1, what happens? There is no element towards left, so there is no addition. I will only subtract 1 from all the elements towards right. So 1 itself will become 0. So if I choose x, x will become 0. Then minus 3 minus 1, what will be the value? It's minus 4. After that, 2 minus 1, that is 1. So one element becomes 0 and the rest are not 0. If I perform with 0, there is no point. If I again perform with minus 4, what happens? I perform with minus 4. So towards the left, I will add. So 0 becomes minus 4. And from that index I, and towards the right, I will subtract minus 4. So minus 4 minus of minus 4, that is 0. And 1 of 1 minus minus 4, that is 1 plus 4, that is 5. So now this becomes 0. So it will loop through. I mean, it will fall in a cycle. All the element can never be equal in this way. Okay. So the main thing, the main pattern you need to observe is that, first of all, I, the only element that all the element I can, the only element or the equal element I need all the actual array elements to convert is actually 0. Okay. So I need to convert all the array elements to 0, and I need to do that using only a single operation. Okay. Because if some becomes 0 and other does not, then it's never possible to make all the elements equal, right? Because from the given example, you can already, I think, see that I will just fall in a cycle and just move on and move on, performing the same operation, and it will never result in all the elements becoming 0. Okay, so the main observation is that convert all element to 0 and do this in one operation. Okay, now which array or which arrays I can in which arrays I can do this too if all the elements are equal. So I'm just telling you the cases. Okay, this is the main observation. Now based on this observation, you need to find which array follows this and which does not. Okay, so if all the elements are equal, x x x x x, like the value of x can be anything, positive, negative, anything. If all the elements are equal, then what will happen? I will just choose the first x. After choosing the first x, excuse me, after choosing the first x, I will just subtract, because there is no element towards the left. There is no element towards the left. So I will just subtract x to all the elements to its right and itself. So the answer will be x minus x 0 for all. So all the elements become 0, and I do this in one move. So yeah, all the elements become equal. So yes, I will just print yes if all the elements are equal. Yeah, I can convert them to equal element in 0 move or something. Yeah, first of all, yeah, if all the elements are equal beforehand, then I don't need to perform any operation. Yeah. Now there is another case, that is, first if there is x and then if there is minus x. You also need to consider this. In cases like this, if I choose between the junction, that is where the x convert to minus x, if I choose this as I, now what I'm going to do, for all the elements towards this left, I'm going to add minus x. Now to all the x, if I add minus x, then the answer will be 0. So it will be 0, 0, 0. And starting from minus x towards the right, I'm going to subtract minus x. So if I subtract minus x from minus x, the answer again will be 0. So all the elements will be 0 using only one move, or using or performing the operation only once. So yeah, you also need to consider this case, that first there is x and then there is minus x. Now coming to another case, is it possible x x x then minus x minus x then again x x x? Is this possible? Let's check. If I start my operation from here, so first the element toward the left of this I will all be 0, because I'm going to subtract add minus x to x, 0, 0, 0. Now starting from I towards the right, I'm going to subtract minus x. So minus x minus of minus x will be 0. This again will be 0, but x minus of minus x will be 2x. So this does not become 0. So all the element does not become 0 using a single move. So I can't convert all the element to equal. Okay, so I can't make all the elements of this array equal by performing these operations. So yeah, so the only thing you need to check is that if all the elements are equal beforehand, or if they follow a pattern like this, first x then minus x. Okay, if any of these two occur, then yeah, you can convert all the element to equal by performing this operation, else you cannot. Okay, so let's just quickly code this. Let me copy this. Okay, so yeah, we have taken the input. Now, what I'm going to do, I will just keep a flag. Okay, I will just write it. But first, let me write this code. Flag. I need x. X will be initialized by nums of 0. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to loop through the array. Yeah. No. I require indexes. I'm not incrementing I here directly. I will do this inside the loop. If my nums of I is actually equals to x, that means if there is a match, so I will move forward. My flag won't change. Now, if nums of I is not equal to x, so what happens? If all the elements are not, I'm considering this condition. Okay, x, then minus x, minus x, minus x. This condition. I initialize my x with this array zeroth element of the array. Now, first it will match, then again it will match, then again it will match, and there is a point where there will be a mismatch because my value is x, but there is minus x inside of the array. There will be a mismatch. So I only need to consider the first mismatch, because if there are any mismatch after that, then straight away it's not possible. Okay, so how to understand that it's the first mismatch? Using the flag, because initially my flag is 0. So if there is a mismatch and uh, flag is 0, that means it's the first mismatch, and I will convert my value to minus x. X will be minus x. Now I'm looking for minus x. Okay, continue. Here also there will be continue. I'm not moving forward because I will again check at this point also. Now again, if nums of I is not equals to x, and then flag is not equals to 0, that means what is happening? That means this is the case where I've already discussed, that is x minus x minus x. Again x or y, sorry, x or y or something. They can be anything. So this is the first point where my value changes to minus x. From x it changes to minus x. Again, if here it's changed, then also it's not possible. So if flag is already 1, that means flag is not equal to 0, then it's the second time where my value is changing. Okay, so sorry, I also need to change the value of flag. Let's just change it to 1. Again, if flag is not equal to 0, that means it's the second time my value is changing. So I will just uh, make flag 2, and I will just break through it because it's no way possible. Okay, so now I just need to check the flag value. Yeah, if flag is 2, then just print no. Else, yeah, it's possible. I will just try run it. Yeah, let's just first run it, and I will try run. Okay, so I have not declared. Yeah, I have not written in. Flag. Okay, so there should be double equals. It's not printing anything. Is there any error? Let me just check. Okay, so I'm not taking any input. Sorry, my bad. Yeah. Yes. Is there any further error? Let me just quickly check. Okay, X should be initially nums of 0. My flag is actually 0. Look through. I break. If nums of I is okay, so again this will be double equals to, sorry. I think now it should work. Yes, no, yes, yeah. Okay. So let me just quickly dry run. Right. First of all, let's just take the case of x. Okay. X. My initially, I'll take the zeroth element, that is, I have x. The zeroth element in the array is x. I have x in my hand. I start matching. Okay, so it matches with the first element. I move forward, because whenever it matches, it start matching. Sorry, whenever it start matching, I will just move forward. I move forward, again move forward, move forward, move forward, move forward. The loop ends, and after the loop ends, my flag value remains 0. So yeah, it's not 2. That means yeah, all the elements are equal. So I can convert. There is no required for conversion. It's already equal. Now coming to the second case, x minus x minus x minus x. Okay. So initially I have x, it matches, I move forward, it matches, I move forward, it matches, I move forward. Now here it does not match, but my flag is, here it does not match. but my flag is actually 0. So it's the first time there is a mismatch. So I will convert my x to minus x, then again start matching. Minus x, it matches, I move forward. Minus x, it matches, I move forward. Minus x, it matches. At the ends. So yeah, the flag is actually not 2, it's 1. So that means in this case also I can convert all the elements to equal. Now if my flag let's just extend this case, okay? I'm not writing a more test cases. If I just extend it again to y, let's say, not just x. Yeah, I will just talk about y. Y is actually very easy because if your code passes these cases, which are much more side edge cases, so it will pass other cases where there is y, z, anything. I mean, any other numbers, okay? So if there is another 2x or there is another again conversion, now again my value in my hand is minus x, but it x. So there will be a mismatch now, but this time the flag will be 1. That means already there is a mismatch previously, and again there is a mismatch. So I can't afford two mismatches. So my flag will be 2. And yeah, if I will break, I think whenever the flag is 2, I will break. And after that, there is a if condition where I'm checking if the flag is 2, then there are two mismatches. It's no way possible. I will just print no and return, right? So yeah, that's how the code works. You just need to understand two things, that you need to convert all the elements to 0, because anytime you perform an operation using any ith element, the ith element becomes 0. So you need to convert all the elements to 0, and also you need to perform this in a single operation, because else you're going to fall in a cycle. All right. So uh, reminding that, I think the solution is pretty clear. Now just submit it. Okay. Yeah. So this was the solution of today's problem of the day. The entire notes for this problem and the video shall be available at K Plus website. You can visit there. The link is in the description and it's also on the screen. The notes and the video shall be available at the library section of the index under the resources tab inside the community section. So that's all for today's lecture. Thank you. Hope to see you soon in the next video.